Welcome, blessed soul family. Welcome to November. Today in real time is November 1st, 2022. And Spirit wants you to either write it down or close your eyes and envision what it looks like in numbers, right? Because even if in another country you put the date before the month, that's okay. It would look the same. Basically, today is 11/1/2022. But the three ones times 2 would give us 222, right? So, welcome. I am the magical medium. Welcome to this beautiful channel. I'm so excited to be here for you guys today. So many beautiful synchronicities have been coming through. I feel like the 11/11 portal's right around the corner. It's also my wedding anniversary. It's our second wedding anniversary, so I'm really excited about that. And it's just going to be a chock-full, fun-filled month. But yeah, they wanted you to notice, the angel number of 111. And it could be 1111. If you keep seeing ones or twos or seeing them together, 1212. We've been getting a lot of angel numbers from Spirit, lots and lots and lots of connections to the divine. So I always think of November as the angel month because not just because of the number that it's 11, but also it's the month of gratitude where I come from. Thanksgiving has taken quite a hard turn for myself, the way I used to look at it. And even when I did celebrate it and I called it Turkey Day or whatever, I didn't eat turkey all the time. I love turkey, it's delicious, but I also love the turkey animal. And one of my dearest friends, one of my most powerful spirit animals who who I've ever had the pleasure to work with was Rusty, who showed up to a farm on Earth Day, a wild turkey, and just stayed there and was like, I think I want to have somebody take care of me for the rest of my life. They had something wrong with one of their legs, and they're so fucking brilliant that they would land on a farm with other animals and is like, yeah, you can eat me, you can, let me hang out, whatever. So they arrived on Earth Day, May 22nd, and they actually were going to eat him until November rolled around and they were like, that is no, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is a special turkey. It wasn't just any old bird, you know what I mean? This was a really special sentient bird. And I was so grateful that they didn't eat him because I met him the following spring and he became one of my dearest friends I've ever had. And for those of you who don't understand relationships with animals, let me just tell you, I have a very, very unique gift where animals and I can connect. Now, all of us can connect to animals, right? But there are some animals, especially sentient ones, that seem to seek me out and either ask for my assistance or, teach me medicine. I mean, I've had so many profound experiences. And when I was a little girl, I would tell my parents and my friends and my family that I would talk to them. And we bred German Shepherds, and I would tell my parents they don't like that, or they would, get a swat on the behind, or something would happen. And I would get angry because I'm like, that's you're doing it wrong, like I remember being 5 and like, scolding my parents, like, what are you doing? And recently at a farmer's market, there was a woman who brought a husky into the farmer's market with a muzzle on. And the way they were reprimanding them in public, I was like, like my heart stopped and I was like getting closer. And as I was about to say something, like other people came into my orbit. So I was like, all right, fine, whatever. But I was just like, I looked at them. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm distracted by this abusive woman right now with this dog. And I was like, especially a husky, it was so bright. It was so brilliant. And I almost wanted to be like, I will give you money to give me that dog right now. Like I was about to like, seriously, like anyway, I don't want to get into it and bring that into this, but the hatred that was coming out of her, I was like, man, that I don't know, you know what I mean? Like I stayed out of it because I was like, maybe this beautiful soul signed on for this with her to teach her something. I'm not really sure. But it was really grotesque in my own feelings of, how I feel about animals and stuff. But I didn't, it was almost like there was a wall there and I wasn't supposed to get involved. But I did say things to other people that are around us. I was like, I don't understand. I'm like, why, and this other guy was like, oh, I think she's doing a good job with them. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, am I the only one in the room? 456 was our first angel number. And then it turned to 457. So I'm going to put both on. And that's where I got these flowers. Actually, these beautiful, gorgeous flowers that are before you was all happening in front of me at this farmer's market. And that's what, I've been talking about a lot lately. I'm like, there's just some cool magic that happens at farmer's market, like between people. And it was like, I saw like, there was like some people that were like feeling like what I was feeling, were like, that's completely unnecessary. She doesn't need to be like, tugging and, smacking. And the way she was smacking the mouth of the animal, I'm like, you already put a muzzle on them. I was like, it was like my Southside Chicago was like, bitch, that dog's gonna bite you. And if it does, I am not gonna feel sorry for you because it's gonna be like, I said back off. But yeah, I just realized like how much we can like easily get involved in someone else's story and someone else's narrative. And thank you to those of you who walked with me during this 10-day Samhain spiritual reset. I don't know how you guys are feeling, but today I am feeling so much lighter. As you know, in day 10, I channeled the ancestors and they spoke with us directly. If you're interested in that, go to, I'll leave the playlist up for a little bit, but watch all of them, watch one of them, whatever one you're drawn to, doesn't matter. But 10 was really cool. Like I for sure, like I was like channeling them so hard, and just the emotion that was coming through from them, like the gratitude that I was feeling, especially from the indigenous ancestors, because where I live, my husband's family's tribe still resides here. Like this is literally like their family, lineage, their family tree, their everything. Like it's like, wow, your ancestors literally looked at this view that we are looking at, like literally like lived here. And it's just, there's something really profound about that. And I feel like in the month of November, it's going to be an interesting time for us to come back to self. That was what I was feeling the whole entire, I don't want to tell anybody what, I can only tell you what I'm feeling. But when I went, back and was putting together day 10 in the description box, Spirit pulled me to put all of the days and the titles of them and the link to each reading. And I loved that because it gave me a chance to like really look at the titles, and they're having me, say them out loud. So it's 1 through 10. But I'm not going to say like number 1, number 2, like, you know what I mean? Like whatever you're drawn to, you'll go to it. I'll put a link to the playlist, and then you can, if you're interested, check it out. So here are what the titles were leading into November: Higher Power, Unpack Your Heart, Behind the Light, Heaven's Light, Meditation, Connecting with Nature and Meditation, Awakening Back to Self, Ignorance is Bliss, You Can't Handle the Truth, Haven of Peace, and now I got a bellyache, Easy on Me, Feeding the Narrative, and A Million Dreams Reimagined. So Spirit played a lot with different languaging and terminology and all that. So if you were drawn to any of that, it's like, to me, it was just like, but all I kept feeling was like, when they were saying like, come back to self, come back to heart, it reminded me of this scene from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, where, he goes to this small Indian village, this East Indian village, and they are suffering from drought and famine and all these horrible things. And, Indiana Jones is like, I don't understand, like, what's happening. And so the high priest was telling him what happened. And then they had somebody who was translating for him in English. And basically, he took him to the spot and he said, this is where we have the Shiva Lingam. And I will put Shiva Lingam below. And if they're called for me to post anything with it, I will always look in the description box. There's always more pearls and more things of us to expand on in these teachings from Spirit. But Shiva Lingam is a stone, and it's about balancing the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And interesting that when we came off of October, I was feeling a really strong feminine energy. And now I'm feeling like we want to bring it kind of, back into balance and be in gratitude that we have both sides of that. Every single one of us, it does not matter what you look like on the inside or how you feel on the outside, inside, doesn't matter. We all have divine masculine and divine feminine in us. And sometimes one of them will drive us a little bit harder than the other one. They will help bring us to wherever we need to be. So in November, the month of gratitude is for us to be thankful, because it's not just about a turkey or the family coming together and all that. Yes, that's wonderful. Family, community come together. The story of the Mayflower, of how Thanksgiving came to be, was, this pretty picture of the white man and the Native Americans coming together to break bread. But we know that's not how it really went down, right? I mean, every type of, it doesn't matter where you come from. There's always been some country that's going to forge across the seas and find another country. And if they want to take it over, they will by force. But not everybody wants to do that. Some people are like, oh, hey, you have this. And hey, I have that. Would you like to trade? That's cool. What do your people do? I didn't know that. So your people hunt animals and you use this, the hides or, whatever. I mean, I know that other countries do that too, but you know what I'm saying? It's just, I'm just giving you an example. It's like, oh, you have this kind of food here. We've never seen that before. We have this kind of food, But the blending of the countries wasn't an accident. We were meant to come to this place. Was it meant to come in such a brutal, horrific way? Absolutely not. Which is why there are light workers like you and myself that are here on the planet right now to bring it back to the beautiful, glorious, divine balance of divine feminine and masculine energy. Love it. That this planet was designed for. Drink some water, Spirit said. 11:50 and then 11:51. I'll put them down if you're called to. Whenever you hear me spout anything off, if you're new here, it's in the description box. It's for you to look up on your own. You just put in 11:51 angel number and see what comes up. Whatever's drawn to you. We all have a different story here. Anyway, we're going to read from the Seasons of the Witch deck. And I paused to take my water. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to put that up there right now. So you hear what Spirit's saying. We've got some really powerful energies that are happening. And, it's about us coming together as one, because we really are one. We all come from the same place. This division that has come about has nothing to do with us. 1235 is absolutely positively nothing to do with us. It is old programming. It is old stuff from an old patriarchal world that doesn't want to die, that is dying. And it's like that person who, like Walt Disney, for instance. Let's just bring up Walt Disney. I love Walt Disney. Don't get me wrong. I love Walt Disney. But they're like, I'm going to put myself in this cryogenic, whatever, because I want to come back. I want to live forever. And it's like, well, but you can come back. You may not come back as exactly Walt Disney, but you can come back as its grandchild and inherit his money, or, you know what I mean? It's like, there's a lot of ways that you can, do things. And there's this like fear of death that people have. And today is Samhain. I mean, it starts on October 31st and it goes to November 1st, and the veil is the thinnest at midnight. And I shot some videos and I had fun. I hung out with the spirits. And let me tell you something, you guys, I'm segueing a little bit into my own life, but last night, I swear to God, I felt like I went through a time warp, or I went through a portal of some kind, because I was drawn to write, and I haven't been drawn to write in a really long time. And the specific thing that I was drawn to write about was just so powerful. And I shit you not, it was like 1 minute, it was like, I don't know, maybe 11. And the next thing I knew, it was almost 1 a.m. And I was like, what? I'm like, what? It was almost like it went by like that. It was amazing. And I was sitting with the ancestors and I was like having these great moments with them, getting some downloads from them on ideas for my book. And it was like from my higher self, right? And giving me things from my past that I'd forgot about, like little morsels, little gems, just like hanging out there in the background. It was so cool. So, how was your Samhain? Like, did you guys, that's like my favorite time. Usually Alder goes to bed and I'm all alone with the spirits by myself. And it's just like hanging out with my family, like my dad's. Although I will say this, usually I go kind of crazy and do all these things and light tons of candles and the ancestors and stuff. But this one was, I channeled the ancestors yesterday in season 10, season 10. Interesting. In episode 10 of the Samhain spiritual reset, the countdown, the 10-day challenge, I did do that channeling, but when I was done, I was exhausted. Like exhausted. I was like so parched. I was so tired. And I said to Spirit, I'm like, holy shit. And they're like, well, first of all, you just like, it channeled some of the most powerful ancestors like ever. I was like on the land, like they were here. It was amazing. Overlooking, you know, the bay and the salt water and in the hills and the mountains behind me. It was really profound. And at the end, there was this part where it was like the weather was changing, and then all of a sudden this thing of wind came in. It was so fucking cool. But I was really exhausted after that. And Spirit's like, that's what happens when you don't take care of yourself. Because the night before, Alder and I ate really late, and we were, you know, snacking and having fun. And we're like, oh, tomorrow will be our good day. We'll eat good. And then, you know, we'll fast all day, and then we'll do our spirit work. Like we had all these plans. It did not go down that way. Just interestingly, all the way around, it did not go down that way. So I don't know how it was for you guys. But anyway, our first card today is transformation. And I feel that. That's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like I went through some portal. And 8 years ago, I went through a portal on Samhain. It was really profound. And I woke my witch. And same thing. It's like I lost time. It was just this really wild. And I think it was a time change too. It was just like a really witchy, cool night. Okay, so let me get my glasses. Okay. Transformation. Like 1,000 storms held in hands, soft against the winds, there is change arising from deep within. Number 39. So the one thing I totally forgot to talk about, which is our theme today, which, and that is that we did not do a waxing crescent reading. Today is the first quarter moon, blessed first quarter moon, and we did not do a waxing crescent. There were 2 days, like I know I was doing heavy spirit work with them every day, but I was like, I got this. I can do this. I was like, come on. I was like, let's do this. Let's do the waxing crescent like 2 days in a row. And they're like, nope. And I was like, okay. So then I realized once in a while they liked me to put together the moon phases because it makes sense. And a lot of times 2 and 3, which is waxing crescent, which is the one I was just talking about, and that's setting intentions, and taking action is the 3rd phase of the first quarter moon. So they're kind of hand in hand, you know, and we've been through a lot of stuff. So I felt like they just wanted us to have a breather, you know, between the new moon and Scorpio came in, then we had the new moon in Scorpio, and then we had the week leading up to Samhain and Halloween. It was a lot. So I felt like they were just like, let's just take little bites at a time. And so that's why they're having me mush together the waxing crescent and first quarter moon. And I was going to do a pick a reading, and they said no. So I don't know what changed. I already pulled cards for that. I guess that's for something else. So stay tuned, subscribe, stick around for that. That'll be coming down the pipeline soon. But soon, spirits time. I don't know what soon means anymore. It's so funny. So today we are, as a group, this is where they want us to set our intentions and take action. And transformation is the first thing that they want us to do. They want us to actually set the intention of actually putting into motion the transformation. And I'm going to read it to you. The key words for this card are alchemy. I'm going to go in a little bit. I love that little apple cider thing with the... Oh, did you see the spirit come in? Thank you, spirit. Oh my goodness. We're just so spoiled by their awesomeness, aren't we? That's beautiful. Okay, so alchemy and change. So this is where they want us to set our intentions, to change, to evolve, to grow, and use magic to do it. See the magic, the alchemy coming out of their hand? And it says, what is transformation but changing one thing into another? We are all after some alchemy, turning the lead of our lives into golden dreams and opportunities. Oh, is this a lead? Turning the lead in our lives? We are all after some alchemy, turning the lead of our lives into golden dreams and opportunities. Take it any way you want to look at it. A witch's specialty. She knows how to bend energy to her will and make something out of nothing at all. Alchemy, magic, manifestation, it all leads to the same things, changing what was into what you want it to be. There is an endless supply of resources for how you might go about such a change. There is no right or wrong answer for the transformation you seek. When transformation finds itself in a reading, it is because you are on the cusp of a significant shift. Ooh, the winds are rolling in, so you better get ready. Even if you aren't aware of it, you've set things into motion already. Every thought, every prayer, every action and inaction is a seed of manifestation waiting to take root. You, my most beloved, are about to see this manifestation surface yourself. Be prepared, as this may be swift and unpleasant like a tornado. This transformation will be especially unpleasant if you have also pulled the Banshee card. I guess we'll see. Change is rarely easy. Sometimes change comes to us in ways we least expect it, forcing us to make moves we wouldn't have done on our own. These might be destructive and chaotic, but the dust will settle, and we will be left with a clean slate to fill with everything we truly want. And the reverse says, transformation in reverse is unyielding. You've battened down the hatches and refused to budge, even though you're seconds away from being swept away by the storm. Let the winds carry you where they wish you to go. You may not understand why you're being taken so far off course, but realize there is a great plan that is beyond your current understanding. So I like to read the upright and the reverse because it's different for all of us. You know, whatever which one resonated with them, you know, that intuition, whatever hit your, you know, your heart chakra or in your stomach, that pit of your stomach, or the aha moment, whatever it is. Let me tell you, I'm going to share a little story with you. I was madly crazy in love with this person. Madly crazy in love, was like, this is the person of my life. Everything was wonderful. There were problems, there were this, there were that. But the one thing that could not change, and I could not make them change, which, by the way, they just drew my eye to Juliet Diaz. So those names may mean something to you too, or a form of those names. But I had to, 2212, I had to let them go. By the way, I've been seeing sevens everywhere, and it was on page 160. So 7 means something too for somebody. And also the number 39 is the number 12 and is also the number 3. And those numbers have been coming around a lot over the last several weeks. But anyway, long story short, the person that I was madly in love with tried so hard. 3 times they went through rehab. 3 times they tried to change. And, you know, for me, for them, for everybody. And it just wasn't going to stick. And I knew, I was like, maybe someday, but I'm like, not, I will be going through this for years. Like, I just saw the patterns. I just knew it. But I couldn't stop because I was so in love with them. I was so in love with them until one night. It was both one of the best nights I've ever had with them and one of the worst nights I ever had with them. Because once I realized like they had kind of fallen off the wagon and it was their birthday and whatever, I was like, you know what, I'll just go with it. They were having such a good time and they were like, you know what, I feel good about this. I wanted to do this. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm like, I love you. I'm like, I'll support you. I'm like, I'll drive. Don't worry about it. Have a good time, whatever. And it was a really fun night. Everybody had a blast. They were hilarious until they weren't, until they got messy drunk like they do. And it just got out of control. And when we got home, we had to walk up the stairs on the outside. We were on the second floor it was just a 2-story condo duplex. But our stairs to get into our house went straight like up. It was seriously like they were so steep. There was probably about 15, 18 stairs. And when we got to the top, I had to help them get up the stairs. And then when we got to the top, they were like, I love you. And they just went to turn around like without thinking anything of it. And I had to literally barricade my body up against them so they didn't go flying down the fucking stairs and land on the cement and die or be very severely injured. I know that, ooh, did you see that? And I was like, oh my God. And that was the second nail. The first nail was in the coffin, so to speak. The first one at the death of our relationship was when I realized that this was never going to change. And I was like, you know what? I gotta do something. And then when they almost killed us both. And then the third one was when we got into the house, I was like, I can't sleep with you when you're like that. I'm like, I'm going to go sleep in the bedroom. And they're like, oh, blah, blah. And they were like, they just passed out. So I shut the door, and we lived in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom. And the way it was like you walked into the house and the living room was right there. And you had to like go like around a corner down a hallway to get to the back bedroom and the bathroom. So sometimes you won't even hear anybody out in the living room, the way it was, whatever. So here I am, I'm in the bathroom, I'm washing my face, I'm brushing my hair, I'm crying, I'm sad because I'm just like, oh, dude, tomorrow's gonna be a rough day. And I was just like, just go to bed, don't think about it. I had to work the next day, so I was just like, you know what, I gotta pull my shit together. So I go to bed, and I have a sound machine because I need the sound machine to help me sleep, right? And as I'm starting to doze off, I just got this feeling that I just knew something was really wrong. And then I turned off my sound machine and I heard choking. Didn't even pause, ran to the living room, and somehow we had lumber, a big lumber pillow on the couch. And it was like an L-shaped couch with a chaise, but somehow he had like, in that amount of time that we got home, I washed my face, he passed out almost instantly. And that amount of time, they had somehow put their body in a way that they were leaning backwards and the lumber pillow was underneath their neck, and they were literally puking in their sleep. And I can tell you with 100% certainty that if I had not gone out there, they would have choked to death, and I would have found them dead in the morning. And that was it. That was the third one. That was it. That was third strike. I'm like, I'm out. This is done. I can't do this anymore. I had to. After 3 years in love and some of the best sex I've ever had in my life, best romantic love, like just best friend, like whatever. But I was like, nope. If I found him dead like that, I would have never recovered. And it was a rough road. And that was the beginning of the end for me. That was when the transformation really started to take place, where I was like, I can no longer look at things and pretend like it's not there. I can no longer go through these cycles with somebody who refuses to change. And I knew. And within a year, it was hard. I mean, I was suicidal. A lot of horrible things happened. Like my alcohol then got out of control, and I moved back home with my parents, and it was just a really rough time. And I was older. I was like in my late 30s, and I'd been out on my own since I was 19. I was just like, this is not cool. But in that year that I left him, I went back to college. I got my own place. I was living in an area I'd always wanted to live in. Like, all of my dreams were coming true. And I was like becoming a fashion designer, which I always like on the background wanted to do, but I had to get out of that cycle with that person so that I could become who I was meant to be. So they had me share, I got the chills. They had me share that story with you because it's not easy. And I've been there, and I know how hard it hurts. But sometimes we have to move on. And right now, if you're here right now and you're a light worker, this could be a relationship. This could be a job. You could have a boss that you love. I feel like one of you are having a hard time leaving your job too, that you really love your job, but you like hate your boss or you hate your coworkers. And then I hear hate in my head. Oh yeah, you see that fairy go by? When I hear hate in my head, that's really big. And you know why? Because you're meant to work with crystals and herbs, not work in an office or do whatever job it is that you don't like to do. You're meant to work with crystals and herbs. Number 12. Isn't that interesting that 39 also comes out to the number 12? What were we just saying? Ugh, I love when they do this. Oh, what medicine, what sacredness to behold, a dash of healing straight from mother's home. And isn't that interesting? I was just taking them right off the top. I should say spirit threw this out. What did I just say about going home? It sucked. I hated it at first, But then I will say this, I did like being at home because I'd been gone for so long. And when I was living at home, my mom was not the best mom. You know, she was a young mother and my parents got divorced early. So she wasn't the best mom. But I got to move back home in my 30s and my mom and my stepdad doted over me and cooked for me. And, you know, they treated me like royalty. And it was really, really rad. It was really nice to be taken care of because I'd been taking care of myself since I was 12 because my parents got divorced when I was 12. My mom went off with her, you know, my stepdad, and like everybody just like kind of scattered to the winds, and I was all left alone. So, you know, these things are coming up. I'm part of the tribe too. So it's coming up for me, but there's also a connection for you guys. We just said this is about setting intentions and taking action. So maybe you want to work with crystals and herbs, then you have to set the intention that you're going to go and get a job at a crystal shop or go and work, you know, at a tea shop with herbs or, you know, try and find a company that does like, you know, like essential oils or anything like that. If you're into that, if you're what they call a kitchen witch and you like to bring things together, you know, that's beautiful. But Spirit's like, but you have to make the changes. You know, I've had jobs where I worked at one job I didn't like so that I could work at the job that I did, but the job that I did like I didn't make enough money. And it was hard, I'll admit. I couldn't really be in a relationship. But when I wasn't in a relationship, man, I was so productive. I got so much shit done. My 30s, I look back at my 30s and I'm like, man, I've fucking rocked it out in my 30s. It was like I got married young in my 20s, chasing one dream, and then started living the dream of my ex-husband instead of my dream. I was always like giving him his dream so that he could do what he wanted to do. And I just started to notice this pattern of, you know, giving up things because I didn't think I was good enough or I didn't have the self-confidence. You know, I struggled with my weight. I struggled with not having a proper education, you know, which is why I went back to college. I did that more for me than anything and anyone. I didn't even finish. I was almost there. I was 3/4 of the way through college and I was just like, you know what? I don't really need this. One of my professors actually told me I should drop out because she was like just a little bit older than me at the time. And she was just like, you don't need all this. She was another witch. And she pushed me. She would come in and do these subtle things like, you know, she would drop these little seeds, these little pearls of wisdom. And I didn't realize then what she was doing, but I realized now because she was so witchy that she was pushing me to move. I had moved back home to Chicago and all that. And then I moved out from my parents and I got 2 jobs and was going to school for like almost 2 years straight. That's all I did. I didn't take off any time, no summers, nothing. I just did it. And I didn't think about it. Ooh, look at that. I didn't think about it. I just did it. And that's what I feel like Spirit's trying to tell you too, is you just got to do it sometimes. Even when it's hard, even when it's difficult, even when you feel like you're in the dark, Spirit's like, you're not. They got your back. They've got this way illuminated for you. And it says Earth's medicine and healing. This card is an allegory for the profound healing that comes from working with Earth's medicine. Sometimes you have to come back to the basics, Earth energy. Yeah, you know, like work in you know, even in the winter time they have nurseries. I mean, most nurseries it's like, you know, the skeleton crew, so to speak. But you know, there's other things you can do if you like working with plants or herbs or whatever. 3301. I feel like this is what Spirit is trying to tell you to look at. This means touching the earth and her offerings, getting to know your crystals, herbs, essential oils, and the ground that you walk on. The forest bathing or sleeping under the stars is so good for your soul. Finding a quiet stream or meadow and speaking to your surroundings, talking to your plants or growing new ones. Invite earth healing into your life in whatever way feels right to you, as the earth is always here for you. But, like your guides, Mother Nature needs an invitation. Yeah, so, you know, maybe for the winter, if you're feeling like you're going to be depressed and gloomy, also when I looked down, it was 33, 35, which is also number 11. That's an angel number. But, you know, calling on Spirit to like, which maybe build an herb garden, you know, and if you don't get a lot of light where you live, you know, maybe build something. I feel like they're just like calling on us to like do more and not just like sitting back and watching shit on our computer or building it on Pinterest. They're like, get off the fucking computer and actually do it. Teach yourself how to do it. Like, if sure, go to YouTube University and learn how to do something, that's fine, right? Like, come here to educate yourself. Same here with me. Thank you for being here, right? 3414. But at the same time, you know, this is for you to, you know, really work on yourself. Like, get a book about it. and get off your computer and turn off your phones. Pulling crystals and herbs is an invitation to find a deeper connection with earth energy. Mother Earth is calling you home, and that healing can be found within nature's language. The earth element represents grounding, connection, stability, and strength. Nature nourishes and supports you and all things on this planet. Behold the sacredness that is earth magic. You will feel more replenished as you develop your connection. This message is amplified if you felt burnt out, if you are sleeping but you're not rested, if you're full but you're still hungry, or active but not energized. This card holds even deeper meaning for you as it signals you've lost touch with the anchoring of working with earth energy. This message is even more significant if you have also pulled the rooted card or feel called to read it. And if you are, let me know. And if we don't pull it, I will send it to you. I'll email it to you. You can message me below, or you can email me at the magical medium, the way it's spelled on my page, all together, themagicalmedium@gmail.com. Also, don't forget that we are in Scorpio energy. Use water energy. Maybe you need to get a little fountain at work until you can leave your job. Like, get something like that, something that will bring you into nature, not just looking at a rock or holding a rock or a crystal at work, but like literally like bringing a water feature to your office or your cubicle or something like that. Because I'm feeling like some of you guys like really miss being in nature. So they have all these different crystals for Samhain. So go ahead and take a screenshot for it, and I'm going to read them. So interesting. I should grab them because I do have Jet. I think Jet's up at the cabin though. So Carnelian, a perfect choice for increasing energy and overall well-being. It encourages creativity and concentration and banishes mental fog. Very useful for calming anger and reducing feelings of depression. So you may even want to build like a little crystal garden on your altar at home or in your car or at work or all of the above. Jet, a common protection stone. Jet protects empaths from negative energy and emotional vampires. It can be used to cleanse other crystals and is a great choice for healing grief. You know what? That's interesting because in my experience, when I bought Jet, they told me that Jet drains really fast and that I've never heard that. I'm going to have to research that more. Obsidian, an intense and powerful stone for discovering truth and facing unresolved issues. Then the next page, and then it says, so we're still speaking of the Carnelian, or no, what is that? Oh, the Obsidian. The Obsidian. Here we go. Sorry. It helps to seal the aura and to cut cords with people no longer serving your best interests and higher goals. Onyx, a black stone that is used to protect against manipulation, aggression, and bullying. It stimulates truth and honesty as well as strengthening relationships. Yeah, I feel like you guys need these. Like, I feel like they're like calling to you. And I'm hearing for those of you who can't do this at home, build your garden now. Get these pieces. If you don't have a lot of money, there are a lot of crystal shops online and in person that you can get like a little piece for like $1. Jet is a little harder to find, I will say, but you can use these other ones and keep them around. And if somebody gives you shit, be like, this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm doing. Also, I heard from Spirit that our color for November is black. And black is all about protection, and I'll put it down there because we're also still working with a lot of the dark night of the soul. Right now, we are in eclipse season. Next week is the full lunar eclipse. So let me get in here for the herbs for Samhain. I want you guys to be able to, so I'm trying to bend the book. I don't have fancy stuff. I'm off grid. Okay, so broom. Used in purification, protection, and invoking good fortune. Garlic, hang in homes to protect from evil spirits and dis-ease. Also added to protective sachets and altars and used in exorcisms. Marigold, invokes clairvoyant dreams and can be added to love spells. Mugwort, meditation, divination, and strengthening clairvoyance. Rosemary, mental stimulation, purity, love, and protection. That's so cool because right now we have garlic in the room, marigold, and rosemary. My Jet is up there, like I said, but no, I don't think my Carnelian is here. I think it is up at the cabin. And I don't think I have my Obsidian or Onyx, so I'm going to have to do that. So thank you, Spirit, for reminding me. Okay, let's see if there's any more on the next page. Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, yeah, because we didn't even get to a reverse meaning. These are the other ones. So sage, purity, exorcism, protection, and spirituality. Wormwood, divination, exorcism, protection, and creativity. Yarrow, courage, commitment, healing, divination, and protection. I think I have a little bit of Yarrow here as well. The reversed is the message is the ability to allow healing to occur. It's easy to want to heal, but not so easy to show up for that process. Healing is often seen as a comforting and illuminating experience, which is rarely the case. Healing often requires things to get worse before they can get better. It's like starting a detox. At first, your body is weak and tired. You feel uncomfortable, but then after a few days, you feel so much better. Don't allow a little discomfort to become the block that stops healing altogether. Embrace your pain because that is the only way to let it go. Wow. We're getting some serious medicine. And look at that, page 7411. Damn. Ooh, look at that. Dark moon is the next one. Okay, so Spirit, do we have any more messages? I don't know how much more I have on my phone either. We're getting close, guys. Okay, do we have any more? And when I looked, my phone said it was 13:55, the time. I do military time for spirit numbers. So 13:55. And then also that they wanted us to remember that that is the number 14. And 1 and 4 together is 5. And 5s are all about change and transformation. So do we have any more messages? No. So our mission, should we choose to accept it, my beautiful, beautiful soul family, is to work with transformation and crystal and herbs, the energy of these, right? Like they understand that, you know, you can't afford, not everybody can afford stuff or don't have the means to get these things, and they do understand that. So they're saying that's okay. However, you can channel the energy of them as well. You can literally say to spirit, like, I need, hold on. Nope, that's it. So the energy, even though the waxing crescent energy is gone, it again, we still call on it. So now it's time to set those intentions to really transform your life. It's going to be different for each of you. This is each of our own story. So for you and your story and your dreams and your purpose, like what is gnawing at you that you're like, no, I'm meant to do this. Like I am telling you, like this is, I feel good every day. You know, what is it? And I feel like this wants to go over here. It's almost like I feel like this wants to cover this, but she doesn't want to, yeah, because it's like they're being illuminated. I hear what you're saying, Spirit. But in order for this transformation, like in order for this transformation to take place, we have to take the action. I'm gonna go this way because the lights there. We have to take action using our tools. That's our medicine. It says, oh, what medicine, what sacredness to behold, a dash of healing straight from Mother's home. And that's Mother's home is spirit, it's earth, it's Gaia. And like I said, some of you, maybe you do need to go home for a little while. Maybe, you know, if you have, like, if you like your parents and it's not a painful experience and you feel like that would be good for you, like maybe you're living with people and you're just like, this doesn't feel good. It could be a roommate, it could be a friend, whatever. It could be a significant other. But if you're just in a living situation that you're just like, this is toxic for me, you need to get out. And Spirit's saying, call on your family, your friends to help you out during that. You're not alone. 4255, which is also number 7. You're not alone. So reach out and ask for help. And if you can't be yourself at your parents' house, don't go there either. You know what I mean? Like if you feel like you're old enough and your parents will respect you and you're like, just stay out of my room. It's like, you can do that, you know, maybe have your altar space or whatever until, you know, you can get to where you need to be. Let me tell you something. My pride and ego, it took everything. It took me like on suicide watch to move back in with my parents. That's the fucking truth. I'm not proud of it. It was sad and hard and horrible. But it ended up being a much more fun experience than I thought it would be. And I got to spend a lot of time with like my nieces and nephews and, you know, my close family because I'd lived like out of state for a long time. And it just changed everything. So just be open. Spirit's saying just be open. And use those crystals and herbs to help you concentrate and focus your energy on healing yourself. That's all they want you to do. That is how we change. That's how we transform and grow, is by self-care first. So those are our messages. I love you so much. I hope this helped you in any way. Also, I think you like I'll try and post things every day, whether it's on the shorts or also, did you guys notice I'm on the community now? I finally graduated to the community. I think they did it for everybody. They used to have all these like things, like these rules, like you had to have so many followers and all this shit, but they've changed it. 44, 24. So I was very, very excited about that. Oh, that's also the number 5, I believe. So I'm going to also be posting like little things there, or if I have like an upcoming reading, or if I'm going to do a live event or things like that, because I am going to do live events. I just don't think I'm going to do them until we're fully moved into our home. And that might not be until the end of this month or December. God, I hope it's sooner. Until next time, though, these are your messages, and all of my information is in the description box below. If you'd like any one-on-one time with me or a recorded reading, you can email me, and I will give you all the details. Until then, take good care of yourselves and each other. Blessed be. Oh.